All right, well, hopefully I'll get everything done today that's going to be in this episode. I've probably got about 4, maybe 5 days into this now so far. A couple things that really caught me off guard were the fact that all the electrical stuff and removing the dash was actually a huge job. I thought that was going to be, just a formality, but man, all the clips and wire connectors and trying to keep everything somewhat labeled and organized actually took a lot of time. In my mind, I had assumed that I would remove the box and then remove the fenders and then lift the cab off. But because of the short ceiling height in here, that completely blew up in my face. So I am pretty adamant that I want to move the cab before I do the drivetrain. I have wrestled and fought under that truck enough times getting all that stuff in and out of there. So half of the allure of even doing this was just being able to access everything so easily once the body's off. So as you can see, I've got the front axle out. The rear axle is also out, but it is still kind of sitting in place. I've got the frame sitting on those blocks, which are about 11 or 12 inches tall. And I don't think that's actually low enough. I'm pretty sure that I need to go lower. So I just went to a lumber yard and bought this 6x6. I was actually going to buy 2x6s or 2x8s and just make some blocks, but this was surprisingly cheaper to just get this big hog chunk of wood. So I am going to go ahead and buck that up. Big old Wilton vise is holding everything securely, and I'm just going to jump into this and get her done. Alright, so I cannot stress this enough. I'm not recommending that this is a safe or proper way to lift a vehicle. I can't imagine that it is, but under my unique set of circumstances, I feel like this is the best situation, but I'm not saying that you should do this, okay? So let's get that clear. Alright, well, I'm running into a bit of a problem here where the blocks that I'm trying to lower it down on are actually lower than the frame of this engine hoist. So I think I'm going to have to put this top end on blocks and then just lower it down with a floor jack. Okay, now we're going to see if we can lower that all the way down onto those blocks. Okay. All right. Okay, now I've officially got the frame rails sitting on blocks, but the weight of the engine is making the rear end tip up a bit. So I'm going to stuff some blocks up under here and we should be good to go. Okay, well the frame is now sitting on blocks and it's time to remove that cab. I've already got the bolts pulled out of there. I'm pretty sure I've got all the wiring and stuff. The one thing that I actually forgot to go get was a unit for disconnecting the AC lines. I did not get this purged or evacuated because it's got a leak in it anyways, so I'm pretty sure there's not much in there. So anyways, time to lift the cab off and move it onto the back and continue on. Cutting the parking brake line. As I said before, that doesn't work and will be getting replaced anyways. All right, let's see if we can move her back then now. Right now, I'm just going to go ahead and lower this down, make sure everything's sitting somewhere okay. Wow, boy oh boy, that was difficult. I had never expected to have so much problems moving that cab back there. Part of it is just the fact that my roof is just not tall enough. I am in this shop short term. I built that little gantry crane so that I could roll it out the door because it is quite heavy. You know, I tried to lower the truck. I mean, it's sitting right on the frame on blocks. I mean, this is about as low as I could get it. But still, you know, I just could not get that thing up high enough. So it was a real wrestling match. That's about as far back as I can go, and also about as far back as I need to go. There's a lot of wires still connected here. This stuff is all gone through and replaced anyways. So I'm not, you know, nothing's damaged, and I'm trying to be somewhat careful, but that is about as far as I can go with it. But really, that's all I need here. My whole plan was just to be able to have access to the drivetrain so that rather than fighting it out from under the truck, I can now very easily just lift it up with the gantry crane. Well, now it's official. The body is disconnected and removed. The axles are gone. A bunch of the front stuff, intercooler, radiator, and stuff like that's gone. I just went ahead and cut these lines here. The system had leaks in it anyways, so there wasn't anything in there. So I'm going to be replacing all of it, all new lines. That was a task. Oh my goodness. That's my first time removing a cab. Like I said, the equipment and the shop space and everything is just not quite enough to really do that properly. You know, if I had 10-foot ceilings or something that was a little higher and I could just kind of lift it up and get it off there, that would have been great. But I had to wrestle it every step of the way. It was really quite a challenge. Anyways, as you can see now, I am in an excellent spot to remove the engine and drivetrain. This wires are definitely a mess. I'm gonna have to start going through that, and the vast majority of it is getting replaced. But for now, she's sitting there, and you know, I could start picking and poking through that and getting organized. That big old motor and tranny and transfer case will be very convenient to lift out of here. Oh, rag got off the intake. Let me just plug that up. So far on this project, the thing that has really been the big surprise is this cab. I really, you know, I really misjudged how difficult it was going to be maneuvering this thing around in here. I thought that I'd remove the bed and then remove the hood and fenders and all that and core support and then lift it forward, and I of course forgot about the motor. I really wanted to remove the engine and all that without the cab on it. You know, it's just so much more screwing around. But I honestly, I don't even think it's going to be all that feasible for me to even put the cab anywhere. You know, I had initially planned on putting it on top of this box, but you know, there is no way that I'm going to be able to lift it up there with this crane. I mean, I was barely able to lift it over the frame. I mean, I really wasn't even. I had to go around corner to corner and kind of lift and roll it along. So as it sits, I mean, I'm probably going to need to remove the engine and stuff, and then maybe you know, and maybe once I have it as a bare frame, I can just start sanding it down and getting the frame cleaned up, and maybe I'll have to paint the front half and then slide the cab forward on top of that, and you know, go ahead and do the same to the back. I really I don't think that I'm going to be able to move it around. I mean, you would think that I could just hook it up with a cherry picker, but there's really not much room to navigate. I mean, you know, the legs of the cherry picker would have to be going, I guess, one inside the wheel well and one around the corner, and then just try and lift it up and lower it over here, but I really don't think it's going to happen. For now, I'm just going to have to keep chugging along and just do what I can.